Okay, hi everyone. Good morning and good afternoon if you're here in the afternoon. It's Friday and I'm here today with Lorin DeMase because you know that I'm always doing this live now conversations. So it's really a conversation. Sometimes on Instagram, sometimes on Facebook. And the reason why I started, uh, doing this conversation is because I always tell you how I get in contact with ELDOA, what ELDOA did to me, what ELDOA did to my clients. But I think it's very valuable for who just heard of ELDOA or did a little bit, or maybe you know nothing about ELDOA. It's nice to also hear it from somebody else because we all have different experiences and we all get to it for different reasons. Somebody just because you want to get a new tool to use with your clients, but you're not in pain. Somebody get tooled up because they are in pain. So it's really important to have multiple viewpoints to understand better if this could be right for you or not. As you know, I'll be teaching some classes starting next week. On Wednesday, September 30, two different classes will start, and I'll do a beginner for who has very little experience with the method, and an advanced class at 2 p.m. for who is more experienced, maybe already a trainer and wants to go a little faster with the pace, and most important with more complicated exercises. So I asked Lauren today if she wanted to share her experience with ELDOA. First of all, Lauren, introduce yourself. Let us know where you are based so people can also reach out to you directly to ask you questions if they want to.
Great. Hi. Thank you so much, Ilaria. This is so great. I'm so excited to be here. My name's Lauren, and I have a studio in New Jersey. And you can find me at livingproofpilates.com. And I started playing around with ELDOA many years ago with Ilaria, and I was kind of like, what is a long time ago, girl. It was a really long time ago. And I remember specifically T8 and T9 and also the steeple and T8, and going, wow, wow. And I always knew it was something that would be a great component to add with Pilates. But I think at that time I wasn't ready for the work. And so revisiting it now, I see why it was so hard. But I also have found a definite connection to it, and started back taking some lessons virtually with Ilaria, and really found depth in not only ELDOA, but outside the studio. So that's one of my big components, as the time that you put in the studio is to be able to take that work outside of the studio and combine it with whether you're doing Pilates or running or just everyday activities. So what I have found quickly is that it's very accessible. First of all, you don't need equipment. It's your own body. And the way that Ilaria cues pushes you to a point where you start to find new things, new discoveries. And I know one of the things that really clicked for me is when she spoke about axial extension and extreme range. And for me, that was the difference, because within my own body, it helped me feel the space in between the joints. Not only feeling that, oh gosh, I could get there, but I really felt that it kept the space between each time that I was doing it, which I thought was huge.
I think that you already touched a few, important points. I always say, I always explain, and if a client has back pain and comes to me, of course, I confirm that they're in the right place, meaning like that ELDOA can definitely help them. But what you mentioned in the very beginning of like back then, it was not the right time, it was not the moment. It's a very important thing, you know. Sometimes when people see it the first time, they're like, oh no, I mean, I'm already doing Pilates or I'm already doing something else that's good for me. Why do I need to add something? Mostly if you're not in excruciating pain or a specific, you know, back compression issue, you might say like, well, not for me right now, or you know. And then once maybe time afterward, because life is different, because your body needs it more, because you already got so much out of Pilates and you want to tweak it with different things, or really life happening, simply life happening puts you in a situation where you're more open, right,
Oh
to
yeah.
to do it and to feel what ELDOA can give to your body. And I want to, because you didn't say how long we've been working together. It's unbelievable because Lorin has been working not for too long. I think we started back in May.
May.
Group classes, and then she did a workshop where we focus on some aspects of the ELDOA, just to, not the certification, just like a couple of hours on Zoom to understand better where it comes from and be able to move better when you do the classes, because you understand a little bit more. And now we took a few privates together because she wants to work on specific parts, right? Not just the back, but sometimes the sternum or the shoulder, or anyway, get to complete the simple ELDOA. So you understood so much out of this, even if you haven't really studied the certification yet, but you're really feeling it in your body, right?
Feeling it 100%. And it was very quick. It was like, I remember literally the first time doing it for the full hour, finding that length. I felt like my chest was literally being lifted up. It was like one of the first things, like I felt this huge lift. And then I also felt it down in my hip area, like it was just pulling in and up. And obviously I was able to correspond that with Pilates. So anytime that I was working with Pilates on the equipment, the mat, the ELDOA was making things, I know, a little bit more accessible. My teethers got better. You know, I was able to pull my knees into my chest more. There was much more of a release and ease in my other work.
That's very nice. And she mentioned the release and ease that comes right afterwards. What she mentioned before, there was a very hard work. So ELDOA will never, as you get better, as you get more advanced, as you practice it more, it will always be hard and it will never actually be easy. But the nice thing is that afterwards, there is this relief that comes, right? So you work hard during that exercise, you work hard during the hour of the session, but then right afterwards, you feel the difference in the tissue and in your body.
Yeah. The other thing that I noticed, which it's really helped me, is with breathing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I really didn't realize how much I wasn't breathing, but also breathing correctly. So I had mobility going on.
Yeah.
And that's something, breathing is essential. And correct breathing, I'm now understanding that it's very, very important because things need to move. And that for me, alone, just the breathing alone in the morning, sometimes I would have to do a couple things to find, you know, whether I had need an adjustment, especially in the thoracic area. And so I would work out, I would roll back, I would do a, you know, have a nice, workout. And, you know, sometimes it would happen, sometimes it wasn't. With ELDOA, and this happened quite quickly within a couple weeks, is in the morning, I would take a nice big breath and I would get an adjustment. or I'd lift my arms up and get this beautiful, and that was like within the first half hour of the day. So that length was staying, which I found, I don't have a lot of pain, but when I do, I know where it is. And the ELDOA has kept me away from that pain, especially in this day and age of, sitting and bending down, picking up and things of that nature. So the ELDOA has definitely
we focused a lot on everything that is in this area, right? We did the breathing, we did the thoracic ELDOA, cervical ELDOA, and we started now also with the sternocostal, right? Because the most common ones are the ones of the spine, usually is back pain, bulging disc. They come to ELDOA for that reason, right? And definitely that's the first of all, are a little easier, more mechanical ELDOA, and a little easier for everyone to approach first. But yes, there are other ELDOA as well that are more like they come after the spine and are the sternocostal, the shoulder, the hip, which we started seeing. So basically with Lorin, we try to work. Yeah, the thoracic spine is tight, is rigid. We need to mobilize it, but you don't want to work only with the thoracic ELDOA. We try to expand and do other movements and other ELDOA that help to complete the work of the thoracic spine and the diaphragm moving and everything, so that the general wellness, I mean, your discomfort improves, but also the general wellness improves.
Oh, absolutely. And I felt like in the very beginning, it was more like my lower back. Like I felt this huge opening in my lower back, and it was able to stay over, maybe 2 or 3 days rather than just 24 hours.
Okay.
And then that just kind of all stopped, and I felt this beautiful long back. And then it came here, and now this is changing.
Yeah.
And then we also went up into here, and that's when it really started to blow my mind, because I've never been able to get to the high cervical area.
Yeah.
And it's really
3, you get a good and then we have also the TMJ issue, right? There's an ELDOA also for the TMJ, so we tried. We're going to go back to it in a little bit, but yes.
And not grinding my teeth at night.
Yeah. I always, tell Lorin, like, you expect that the tension or discomfort is going to shift, right? When you work on one area, that's going to change, and it's going to, like a wave, it's going to move to other parts of the body in a good and sometimes for a little bit in a bad way, just because the body needs to find a new balance and a new way to move. And before we get to an harmony, a full harmony, it takes a little while, but that's what we're doing. That's what
I wanted to just be clear too, that it never felt like pain.
Mm-hmm.
It was just more like awareness.
Yeah,
it wasn't like, ow, oh, it was more like, oh,
mm-hmm.
I want to keep that. It was more awareness rather than like, ow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Cool. So what would you, if you have to give an advice, I mean, what's the advice for who is hesitant? I mean, what should they expect? Prepare them to the class. What they should expect the moment they take the first ELDOA class.
Well, it's not easy.
Good.
It's not easy. And you will be just in a simple position that you think is going to be simple, and you will start sweating. I think yesterday my nose started running. It's very, very hard work. But like I had said before, the discovery is incredible. It happens quickly. I think it's accessible for everybody. And I also think what you put into it with your mind and what you want out of it also is very important, because you could kind of just say, okay, it's too hard and that's it. But you just stick with it. I know that first hour that I took with the class made me keep saying, wow, wow, wow. And how I felt afterwards, that release afterwards, I kept saying, wow. I can't get over this. And yes, I know what that feels like after you work out and you have, you know, a certain amount of energy and you feel lighter. And but it was different. And if you can stick with it till you start to find those discoveries, things start to change. Like even just the way you, you know, the way that we would, you know, work on our feet, or the way that we would do our mat, or, you know, those things start to change too, because your spine is lengthening, you have more space.
Different, yeah.
And everything becomes a little lighter. So stick with it. Don't give up. Breathe.
Don't hold the breath.
Don't hold your breath. Because yeah, in the beginning I was holding my breath, and we figured it out. Ilaria's like, you know, you're holding your breath. I gave her some feedback, like, this is happening. And sure enough, that's what it was. Yeah, so don't forget to breathe.
Don't forget to breathe. Good. Thank you so much, Lorin, for sharing with us. I'll see you in class on Wednesday.
You got it.
Guys, if you have any questions, you know, I'm always available. You know where to find me, info@feet-nets.com. But reach out again, repeat your studio name. And
yes, it's livingproofpilates.com.
Or Lorin DeMase on Facebook, right?
Lorin DeMase on Facebook, yeah.
So you can find her there, because, again, I can give you my view and my experience, but if you want to talk to somebody else that, you know, more recently started, you get more of what you will be in a few months from now if you start doing ELDOA next week. Okay, so thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you very soon. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.